Hi New Build Show, I'm Rosey Cassidy, Director of Cassidy Homes, and welcome to our latest development here in Warwickshire. As I mentioned, we are here in Warwickshire in the countryside, and this is a development of 5 detached houses. We only have 3 still available for sale. So if you do like what you see in this video, if you look at the video description, you can see all of the information that you need there. We're going to be looking at plot 4 right behind me. That plot is just over 3,750 square feet, and we're also going to be looking at plot 6, which is just over 4,000 square feet. Both of these house types have quite different layouts, so I'll be interested to know which one you prefer. So let's start by looking at plot number 4. At Cassidy Homes, placemaking is really important to us. It needs to feel like you're coming home, not just when you step through your front door, but the second you enter this site. So for us, it's about creating a site as a whole that feels homely and welcoming. And we do that with things like extended landscaping schemes. We always use mature landscaping features. Costs us a bit more, but it looks more embedded and lived in when we finish the site. We have driveways that are adequate and big enough for all of your own cars in the house, plus guests, and even down to the driveway, we mix up the textures, the colours and the materials to again keep it interesting and pleasing on the eye. This site, because of planning, we had to use a lot of the same external finishes, but we always like people's properties to feel a little bit unique. So on this site, we did bespoke oak front doorways, and each one has a different finish, so it feels like your plot rather than exactly like everyone else's. One of my favourite things about these properties is the way it centres the countryside views. So as soon as you walk in, you can see straight through to the back to the open countryside, which I personally think is stunning. We have a porcelanosa wood plank tile in this plot. We have a different one next door, but we do have some consistencies throughout all of the plots. Things like the internal oak work. So we have oak staircases with the glass inserts. We have oak internal doors, just to create some consistency. So let's have a look at the kitchen. Actually, one of the things we are most proud of on this site is the kitchens. So not only do they look absolutely stunning, but they're completely functional. I think so many developers are guilty of sometimes being too technical. We look at things as plots or unit numbers. We're looking at the costs, the lead times, technically how are we delivering this, how are we building it, and we forget that it's ultimately someone's home and they have to live in it, and it has to be functional. So when we're designing, not only do we care about those things, but we think, how would someone use this plot, this kitchen? So for us, one thing is a kitchen island. When we grew up, we would all have dinner around the island. It was like the social hub. So we always have to have a kitchen island. You can see we've got a massive one here. But you can't have that and then compromise on things like your walkway space, so that you're moving hot pans from the oven onto the island and hitting your kid in the head. So for us, it's about having something stunning. We have top of the range Neff appliances. We have 3 ovens, a hob, 2 sinks, full-size fridge freezer, your usual selling points, but they're considered for the property in question. This is a 6-bed house, probably a multi-generational family will ultimately live in it. You need to be able to cater for the size of family, store all of the things that they need, and it actually meet their needs as a household. We also have a standalone full-size utility, so that when you've got all of your dirty washing for a family of that size, you can close it away and not think about it and deal with it all in one closed off room. The utility also accesses the garage, so if you do need to get tools and things, it's all in the logical spot. I mentioned earlier about the open countryside setting and views. We wanted to make sure all of the homeowners could really take advantage of that. So for that reason, we put in a full sliding bifold door and a patio area. I know myself, I would be hosting a lot if I had a house like this. So for that reason, we put in a bar in this unit with a wine cooler. So this is the garden of this plot. And importantly, if you see beyond that, you can see this kind of half-acre paddock, and this is actually owned by all of the plots in this development. So you all benefit from that, but also the countryside that you see beyond this is all greenbelt. So no developer can come along and build 100 houses on this open countryside view. This view will stay damn near forever. Back in the entrance hall, we have a really versatile room off to the left. It could be used as a home office or a playroom, depending on what the family needs. We also have a guest bathroom for when you are hosting, here on the left. And then on my right over here, we have the family lounge. So the lounge also has bifold doors, just like the kitchen, so you're still making use of those countryside views. But we do have a carpeted finish in here, and that's because for me, in a lounge, it's about being comfy, being cozy, watching TV, watching movies. So we went for that soft finish just to give it that kind of cozier feel. Now, one thing people always mention about rural development is internet. Naturally, you're further away, internet can be poor. So for that reason, in all of our plots, on every TV unit, we hardwire in Cat5 cabling. So you get to live in the countryside with all the benefits, but you don't have the negatives. So you get the best of both worlds. So that wraps up the ground floor. Let's go take a look at some of the bedrooms. Actually, one thing to mention before we go upstairs is it is underfloor heating throughout on the ground floor. So although it's a tiled finish, it does feel nice and warm underfoot. So now that we're upstairs on this landing, we have 4 bedrooms off of here, with the primary bedroom being one of them, which we will have a walk around. But one thing that I think is really important with this house and pretty much all the houses we try to do is the secondary bedrooms we try to keep similar. So all 3 of these are similar sized, have a dressing room and an ensuite. The reason being, I grew up with siblings, there would be the arguments over who's got the best bedroom. So we appreciate families are going to move into these houses, and we don't want those arguments if we can avoid it. As we come into the principal suite, we have the walk-in wardrobe on the right and the ensuite on the left. But the main feature is this half-height wall here. And the reason being is it's built to have a super king-size bed up against it. So in the morning, sat having a cup of coffee, you get to sit and enjoy the view with the floor-to-ceiling windows that we have here in front of me. So now we're in the master ensuite. The bathrooms have porcelanosa tiles, full tiling throughout. We have walk-in showers, Villeroy and Bock and Hans Grohe sanitary ware as standard in all of the bathrooms. The only difference is we do pick a different tile per bathroom just to make it feel a bit individual. So on the top floor, we have 2 bedrooms and a shared bathroom. Now, one misconception people often have about a kind of second floor living space is that it's like an attic and not very livable. For us, it's really important to integrate this top floor as part of the house. So to do that, we always ensure that the engineering is oversized to create space. We add Velux windows, skylights to bring in as much natural light as possible. And we have obviously the glass staircases continuing to the top floor. And actually in the other plot that we're going to look at, you can see all the way from the top to the ground floor to really integrate all the living spaces together. Up here on the top floor, as I mentioned, we have 2 bedrooms and a shared bathroom just here on my left. So this is technically a 6-bedroom house, but it's not that common that people actually use 6 bedrooms. So we have had purchasers convert these to home offices, playrooms, and even cinema media rooms up here. So they're quite versatile. That wraps up number 4. Let's go take a look at number 6. It's worth noting this is a private gated community, meaning you need to buzz in and out at the gates at the top to get in, which is obviously great for privacy and security. But there is an intercom system in every single plot, so you can see who's at the gate, be it the postman or your friends, and obviously you can buzz them in from the comfort of your home or not. So we're halfway through now. I'd be interested to know what your thoughts are on the property. What did you like? What didn't you like? And let's see how it compares to number 6. As you come in, once again, we have a downstairs guest WC and then straight into the kitchen entertaining space. In the kitchen, we have the same features as in the last plot. So we've got Neff appliances, we've got Frankie sinks, but this house type actually has a dual zone kitchen entertainment space. So we have 2 sets of bifolds leading onto 2 sets of patios. So you can host dinner parties, barbecues, all of those things across all of that space in this house type. Out the back of the kitchen, we come into the key difference between the 2 house types, which is this sort of wing that we have here. So this house type is an L shape. giving us all of this extra space on the ground floor and upstairs. So behind me, we have a study, home office, playroom, or actually one purchaser has used this as a home gym. And we also have the full size utility leading into the double garage as well. Once again, off of the entrance, we have our lounge. So this is the carpeted space where we're going to be watching TV. We do often, for our clients, build bespoke media units to whatever colour, finish and design that they want to make this space feel like their own. Up here on the first floor, we once again have a lovely open landing with loads of natural light. We have 4 bedrooms on this level. We have 2 that could be classed as the primary suite, and then we have 2 secondary bedrooms. So let me show you the 2 primary suite options, and you can tell me what you think. So for option A of the master, after you pass the walk-in wardrobe and the ensuite, you get into the bedroom area. Now this is the slightly smaller of the 2 options, but it's my preferred option because we have a spectacular view. I just can really picture myself sat in bed in the morning, drinking coffee, looking out onto the open countryside. So for me, this would be the master bedroom. So this is option B for the master. We have an ensuite here to my right, and as we keep walking through this suite, we have our dressing room. Now you will notice that here and in basically every other bedroom, we just leave a gap rather than have the wardrobes like we did in the other option. And that's because, again, we like to give our clients the opportunity to make their house kind of more bespoke to them and their taste. So we always let them pick their finishes for wardrobes. That's why it's a gap. And then we come into what is the kind of bedroom area. So great size. However, it doesn't have the views that the other one had. So I'd pick the other one, but I'd be interested to know which one would you pick as your master bedroom. In bedroom 3, we once again have an ensuite and a dressing area, and this one does have a lovely window view of the countryside in the background. Then the last bedroom on this floor is bed 4, which is a large double bedroom with an ensuite, and again, those countryside views. And then onto the second floor in this plot. Once again, we have 2 bedrooms and a shared bathroom, so they can be used as bedrooms if needed or converted to things like cinema rooms if requested. But the key thing, once again, is integrating that top floor into the living space so it feels like a natural extension to the home, not a kind of dingy loft conversion. And we've done that with the Velux lighting, the open glass staircasing, and again, you can see all the way from the top floor in this plot all the way to the kind of front door, which I think just integrates it perfectly. That wraps up the tour here at Allesley Grove. You have seen both house types, and I'd be interested to know which one you prefer. If you are interested in any of the plots here, again, all of the information is in the description of this video. This site is in Allesley in Warwickshire, so it's only about 10 minutes from Birmingham International train station, meaning you can live here in all of this lovely countryside and be in London within an hour. But that's it for this video. I will see you guys when the new build show join me at our current build in Cambridgeshire for 17 units.
Hey New Build Show, I'm Millie, and today we're touring this £2 million apartment by Keble Homes here in Ascot. So I wanted to start the tour by giving you a look at the building itself, which is so impressive.